Hey, thank you for joining me for this other video. This is kind of a little fun video perhaps, although I'm taking it very seriously at the same time. I kind of feel after watching Dr. Taylor Marshall and Dr. Anthony Stein on Return to Tradition and the Taylor Marshall channel that this is going to be a little fun to highlight something that I don't think anyone else is picking up or hasn't done. Not that I've seen over the years, and it's something I did a long time ago in one of my videos, and I recently highlighted it to Xavier Ayral, who himself was surprised to hear about it. Are you ready to know what it is? Many of you may already be aware of that video, but I've went up so many subscribers the past month, I'm sure it's fresh news to many of you. What am I talking about? Well, you'll just have to watch and find out. Let's get to it. First of all, I apologise because I'm still taking the menthol vapes and the Lemsips, hot drinks and everything else due to the cold and the coughing. So if it does happen, I'll try and keep it to a minimum. But man flu is real. That's all I have to say. My wife now knows it's real too, and she's been wonderful living up to her vows in this first year of marriage in sickness and in health. She now has the sniffles, unfortunately, but nothing as bad as I've had it, and that's how she realises it's true. Man flu is something else, and it's only for us to suffer. Anyway, Dr. Taylor Marshall has made it clear on his own channel that he believes that the lightning strike on St. Peter's statue in Buenos Aires, as it was first reported, which damaged the keys of St. Peter and the halo of St. Peter on that statue, is a clear sign of God's unhappiness, God's anger. It's a sign from heaven of the displeasure against Pope Francis. And Dr. Anthony Stein has also more or less said the same. But Dr. Anthony Stein has done a follow-up video with a bit more clarification. Now, getting to the more point of the symbolisms, lightning striking the keys of St. Peter. If the halo was also struck, I think it's been reported that was already damaged in a previous time. But either way, the lightning struck St. Peter's statue, right, so what? Well, it also occurred on Pope Francis's birthday. And it was within 24 hours before the very controversial document about same-sex couples blessings came out. Right, so you put all that together and put the chances on it, what you're going to get at the bookies to make that a possible bet. Well, I think there's one it's more astronomical than ever than that. And I'm quite glad these two men with these big channels and big followings are actually on record saying they believe it's a sign from heaven because of the times that we're in. Well, I've never seen them come across talking about something I highlighted a while ago, something I also brought up to Xavier Ayral, because these men have all spoke about lightning striking St. Peter's Dome back in 2013, and the very evening Pope Benedict resigned. Even Xavier has the picture in front of his best-selling book. But I have not seen another video. There may be, I doubt I'm the only person on the planet that noticed this, but I'm the only one that seems to have a video of putting it together quite some time ago, and I haven't seen any more. So if these men are putting it on the cover of their books, they're speaking about signs from heaven, such as lightning striking St. Peter's statue in Buenos Aires on the birthday of the Pope from that area, and it comes at a controversial time of this publication. Well, put that into context of something else, not just the times that we're in with the four popes after Garb and Dal, the two popes of Anne Catherine Emmerich, and everything else that I've highlighted on this channel. But let's go back to the same idea of signs from heaven and the chances of the coincidences of when it's happening. What am I talking about? Well, on the 2013, the 11th of February, Benedict announces that he will retire at the end of that month. Let's get something up to show you. Here we are. I did this on a video some time ago. I've highlighted it in recent months as well. But in 2013, 11th of February 2013, Benedict announced his resignation, and he resigned later on the 28th of February. So look at the events that came since that announcement. The announcement that he will resign at the end of the month happened on the 11th of February, which sent shockwaves around the world. A few days later, on the 15th of February, the meteor lands in Russia. The 28th of February, Benedict retires as forewarned. But then on the 13th of March, Francis is elected Pope on the 13th day. Then a few days later, on the 18th of March, Putin is re-elected. And then on the 21st of April, another meteor lands in Argentina. Now there's a bit more on the Catholic Vote website. It was the first one I picked up where they speak about this new lightning strike, where you can see the damage from before and after. They do correct in the article about Taylor Marshall getting a couple of things wrong, such as the geography and the archdiocese details and things like that. The other thing I noticed as well is, see, the day after Pope Francis was elected on March 13th, it was the 14th of March, the day later, that Xi Jinping was elected the Chinese president. So if it had Pope Francis on the 13th, President of China on the 14th, and then on the 18th we had Putin re-elected, all in that time. Now the 13th day has always been something with Fatima, where it's May 13th is the first apparition of Fatima. It was also when Pope John Paul II was shot on May 13th, 1981. Or we look at October 13th in Fatima, the Great Miracle. But if you go back to October 13th, 1884, it was Pope Leo's vision, and that's where we get the prayer of St. Michael. That's all related. And then, of course, in 1973, of October 13th, we had the prophecy of Akita, which is very much real right now, is it not, with all the division and everything else going on in the world and the church. Now, with these men and these big channels and followings and their intellectual side in the background, they're believing it's a sign from heaven that this lightning strike has got something to do, timely, symbolically, with Pope Francis, his papacy, his confusion and everything else that's coming out. I agree that there's something there to be seen with it, but I wouldn't leave it on its own. Look at the context of the other things shown from the very moment he was elected, or even just before he was elected. Now, why more to do with Francis? Well, I've also put it in videos as well of the symbolic timing. You have to watch the videos to see the bigger context. We've seen some stars falling from the sky, as it would put in the Book of Revelation. I know there's theological meaning and things behind that as well. But when we're physically seeing things like that happening, and on the time that it's happening, it's phenomenal. But then you take in the fact that after Benedict resigned, the very same day lightning strikes St. Peter's, just as on the front cover of Xavier's book. That went through the world with people picking it up in news channels and the media and everything. The symbolism, the timing of it. But no one speaks about the meteors. And why Russia? Why Argentina? Russia's always been the prophecy, the prophetic country from Fatima onwards for sure. And look where Russia is right now with Putin. At the same time, China's threat to Taiwan. This Pope comes into the bridge of the new era. According to Garabandal, 4 more popes after John the 23rd, one of whom would have a short reign. Those 4 popes were concluded with Benedict. And then at the same time we have Francis at the point of 2 popes being alive. Now with Benedict passing, just a year past there on New Year's Eve, Francis is on his own doing what's happening, looking at a lot what's happening within the church. There's a build-up to something schismatic happening. These signs were there before, they're popping up again. And for the conversations I've had with a couple of our guest speakers, Daniel O'Connor, Xavier Ayral, things I've put together myself, 2024 is going to be a very nail-biting year. And I would just say to people, give me your comments in below based on this little trickle of stuff I wanted to add my comments on. And it'd be great if I ever get a chance to speak with Taylor Marshall or Anthony Stein about this and the prophetic times that we're in for sure. But I'd like to just get that out there to the point. Is like, this isn't heaven's first sign of the papacy, and it's also coming about the time of the countries. That's all part of prophecy as well. The timing, you cannot take that away. You cannot ignore that. You do so at your own peril, I suppose, because when all these warnings are coming in, and when these events occur as prophesied, they're going to stand as testimony to the fact that it was real all along. And when these messages have came, these prophecies have came, they've always been backed up with how we should respond now, through prayer, fasting, sacrifice, penance, confession, etc. So I just wanted to do a little fun commentary back on the fact that to see these great men in their channels basically believing this is a sign from heaven, well, what about everything else I've just pointed out? I'm open to discussion. Leave your comments in the chats below. Please give the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. You know what you need to do to reach as many people as we can, because 2024 is going to be a very serious year for the church and for the world. But as always, our hope is in the name of the Lord. Take care. God bless. See you on the next video.